The gardeners have planted white roses when I specifically asked for red.
You could always pay.
So I was watching a video on YouTube by Dr. Joy DeGruy's. She was having a course where she were teaching different people from different nations of the history of racism and slavery when it comes to America, and how society, no matter where you are, views black people in a negative way. And it's because of how impactful slavery was and how influential America was to everybody else. Black people have always been portrayed as the thugs, the villains, lazy, just anything negative that you can equate to black people. Like, that's just what it is. Black people weren't even considered human. You weren't even considered people. You were property. They used to make laws where black women couldn't be raped by white people because white men were you were property. You're not getting raped. You're submitting to your master. But they ended up also making laws to make sure that black men would never be caught in the same space as a white woman. And even if that accusation came out in the air, that black man is killed with no trial, no anything, just, hey, because he deserved it. He's less than a man. She's less than a woman. They're just property. Racism in this world is rooted in religion, in science, in health, in like every foundation that you can go to, you can find racism in it. So much so that the man who made Amazing Grace that we love to sing in our churches, his name was Reverend John Newton. He said that slaves are lesser creatures without Christian souls. These are the people who are not destined for the next world. Then he broke Amazing Grace. Carl von Linnaeus. He is the father of anthropology. He says that people can be broken down in groups. And this is how he described Homo Americanus, Native Americans. He said they were as reddish, choleric, meaning they were bad-tempered or irritable, obstinate, stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion, contented, and regulated by custom, which means that they didn't want to conform, to white supremacy or white dominance. Homo Europaeus, white people, they were considered white, fickle, meaning they changed frequently, sanguine, cheerfully optimistic, naive, and oblivious, blue-eyed, gentled, and governed by laws. Homo Asiatics, Asians, he said they are as sallow, which are pale or unhealthy in appearance. They are grave, dignified, which means they implied both seriousness and dignity in expression or attitude. And he said that they are having an extreme greed for or maternal gain, and they are ruled by opinions. This is the father of anthropology that is setting the tone for how you view Native Americans, white people, Asians, and listen to how they say you view Africans. Homo Afro, black, phlegmatic, which meant that they are not emotional and calm in their disposition. Cunning, which they are having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or evasion. Lazy. Lustful. Remember, I told you about the laws that they made up about, raping black women because our bodies, we were more promiscuous because of how our bodies developed. Careless and governed by caprice, which we have always been portrayed as lazy, lustful, cunning, and problematic by a man who has been in history books as the father of anthropology that people study. This is a system of nature of 1735. This is how he developed a system based on a criterion of skin color with absolutely no science. All of this was passed through history. These founding fathers of medicine. Do you know who were the subjects of the founding father of medicine? Black women, because they said black women did not feel pain. So he will cut into black enslaved women because they were just property. He is the father of the gynecological scope. He created that through torturing black women. I mean, their property. They have used so much of how they viewed us, and it has been like embedded into people where they like it's like the removal of your cognitive dissonance when it comes to black people. You don't have empathy. You know something is wrong, but at the same time it's like what? Because like what did they do to deserve it? Because we have to make sense of this. Like it's just not happening to them just because like it's because they're bad. It's because they're lazy, even though there are scientific facts out there that enslaved men and women were worked so hard that they found a man's muscle detached from his bone. Like that is actual. That's how badly they worked black people. In the Caribbeans, they didn't even have a life expectancy of past for women past menstrual because they was working them into death for sugar. Then when Haiti got out, when they rebelled, when they used their spirituality, their roots, and beat the French, beat the Spaniard, beat all of them, then guess what they told about black people? They worship the devil. They even went so far as to making laws to keep black people from having access to herbs because of the root work that they did in Haiti. Like to tell the world that, hey, we have oppressed these people, but they deserved it. We have beat these people, but guess what? They deserved it. We just saw a group of fucking terrorists beating a man who was handcuffed. It's showing in fucking France. Like I was watching the news and I saw international clips. They're showing this in other parts of the world. The brutality that America has always had when it comes to black people. And the fact that there are people who will find some type of, well, what did he do? What did he in there for? That's going to make it like, okay, well, I can see why. You're fucking evil.